This is a story about an old man, an old donkey, an old well, and the event that changed everything. One day the farmer was out in his field, and he heard the sound of his old donkey in distress. The farmer was old himself, and he picked his way as carefully and quickly as he could towards the sound of his old friend. It was odd, sounded kind of muffled. What could have happened? As he drew nearer, he felt his gut clench. His old abandoned well was in this direction. No, he told himself, my donkey has no need to be in that area of the farm. He's never gone over there before. But as the braying grew louder, he detected an odd echo to the sound, one he had not heard before, and he came to the well. Looking over the edge, he was saddened to see his fear was reality. In the bottom of his old abandoned well stood his dear friend, braying and calling out for help. The farmer was so many things all at once. He was sad for his dear donkey. He was angry that this could have happened, angry that he had never filled in this old well years ago when it became obsolete. Frightened as he began to ponder the facts. How was he going to get his dear friend out of the well? For days he thought. The question was complete, insurmountable. There was no happy solution, and his donkey was becoming weaker and weaker. I will have to fill in this old well now, and I will lose my dear friend. There is nothing else to do. He consoled himself with the idea that once the well was filled in, it would be impossible for such a situation to repeat itself. Heavy-hearted, he called on all his neighbors and friends to help him in this daunting task. The sooner it was done, the sooner it would be over, and his dear friend would cease to suffer. When the first shovelful of dirt hit the donkey in the well, the panicked braying that ensued was devastating. The kind farmer's friends talked loudly to distract him. They all knew this was the only viable option. The farmer himself shut down. He closed off his ears to the cries of his friend, knowing that he was doing what had to be done. But after a while the farmer paused. He had noticed a change, but he wasn't certain what it was. He listened. Quiet. Only the sounds of shovels digging and dirt being tossed into the well. He realized with a great rush of sadness that he, with the help of his friends, had in fact buried his donkey. He was now dead. That was why he had become quiet. A sudden need to see his dear friend at peace and no longer suffering caused him to peek over the edge into the well. What he saw was overwhelming. His donkey was not dead. He was fine. In fact, he was much more than fine. There was an energy surrounding the donkey that was very confusing. The desperation was gone. And he watched as his friends continued to toss shovelfuls of dirt into the well upon his donkey, and he began to grin. His donkey, head down, received the dirt upon its back and shook it off. Again and again, received the dirt and shook it off. And soon the dirt he had shaken off formed a pile. And now the farmer beamed as his dear wise donkey stepped up onto this pile of dirt. Each shovelful of dirt was received, shaken off, and stepped up on. The man began to cheer, tears of joy and release shining in his eyes. And soon, with the help of himself and all his friends, his donkey stepped itself out of his now filled old abandoned well.